Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. First of all, I would like to pay my homage to my teacher, to our Lokasamin Wahansa, most venerable Avasarai Kiribatguda Jnanananda Mahathera. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Meritorious Dhamma friends, dear parents and dear children, today you are learning Dhamma, you are taking part in this one-day Buddhist retreat, this online program. You are celebrating an amazing Poya day. You are celebrating a wonderful Poya day. The name of this Poya is Esala, Esala full moon Poya day. On the Esala full moon Poya day, our Buddha taught the first sermon, taught the essence of the Buddha's teachings to 5 bhikkhus. So from the human world, 5 monks took part in the Dhamma sermon. 5 monks listened to the Dhamma sermon. But from divine worlds, then from Brahma worlds, from the Earth Bound Devas, altogether 22 beings from 22 worlds listened to the first Dhamma sermon taught by the Blessed One. From how many worlds? From 22 worlds. So, Earthbound Devas, they are the lowest divine world, then 6 divine worlds, altogether 7 divine worlds, and 7 divine worlds and 15 Brahma worlds. And millions of Devas realized the 4 noble truths, purified their minds, and entered the path to realize the 4 noble truths. Entered the Buddha's path, became stream entrance, the path that ends with Nibbana. And then, on this Esala full moon Poya day, the monks, and also during the Buddha's time, even the Buddha will start their rains retreat. That means spending the rains retreat in one place, the Vassana season. And a lot of Arahants were created. A lot of monks became Arahants during the rains retreat. So you are joining today through this online Buddhist retreat on a month where a lot of monks determine themselves, in a month where a lot of monks dedicated their life to become Arahants. So there is a wonderful story to share with you during this sermon. A monk who spent the Vassana season only in 3 postures. Arahantship. He determined himself to spend the 3 months only dwelling only in 3 postures. That means standing, sitting, and walking, not sleeping, not lying down. So just like Arahantship had a strong determination to spend the 3 months in 3 postures and giving up the sleeping posture. Giving up what? Giving up the sleeping posture to practice the Buddha's teachings. Why? For one hope. Having one aim to purify the mind. Because it's always that our undeveloped mind ruins our life. The undeveloped mind makes us sad. It's our undeveloped mind makes us regret. It's our undeveloped mind makes us angry. It's our undeveloped mind drives us crazy. So we should overcome from this undeveloped mind. So the great Arahants, the great monks who lived in the past, if they decided to give up the sleeping posture during the rains retreat, imagine how much the great Arahants dedicate their lives. So how much should we dedicate? Now we might not be able to give up the sleeping posture, but at least giving up evil thoughts during these 3 months. Now this year, since there is an extra full moon Poya day falling on the same month, and extra Poya day has fallen in this year, so then for this year the monks will observe the rains retreat on the next Poya day. So yet during this starting from Esala full moon Poya day, the monks, the lay people, they can have a strong hope, a strong determination to cultivate wholesome thoughts. They can think of good qualities and determine themselves to practice wholesome qualities, and then be happy thinking that even as lay peoples we have lived in a virtuous way, and when the monks are living a virtuous life, when the monks have dedicated their life to spend the Vassana retreat in a meaningful way, the lay people also can support the monks during the rains retreat. And after the rains retreat is over, the lay people will get the chance to offer a katina robe. That robe will be offered to the monk who have observed the rains retreat in a meaningful way, in a proper way. So during the rains retreat, the monks, they have restrictions to leave the monastery. They should be invited by monks to leave, or else there should be a very special purpose. So without invitation, if someone has to go, that means a monk there should be a special reason. Either the mother and father should be ill, or there should be a special reason among the Sangha. So unless there is a big reason, the monk can't leave the monastery. So a monk has to follow those precepts laid by the Supreme Buddha, follow the guidelines that should be followed during the rains retreat, and then to that monk, and then the monks will decide. So after the rains retreat, once the robe is offered to the Sangha, the monks will decide to whom that robe will be offered. And then the monk who received that robe will have benefits. So the katina robe is extremely a fruitful merit, a powerful good deed to do, offering a katina robe to the monks after the rains retreat is over. So Esala full moon Poya day is an amazing day where a lot of monks start cultivating wholesome deeds, because usually monks, even during the Supreme Buddha's time, the monks go from city to city, from village to village, from city to city, from province to province. But during the rains retreat, the monks will stay at one place and will meditate and learn Dhamma and practice Dhamma. They will pay more attention to dedicate their lives to practice the path of Dhamma. And then on the Esala full moon Poya day, Arahant Mahakassapa gathered 500 monks and did the first Sangha council, recollected all the Buddha's teachings to protect the Buddha's teachings for the future generation. So all these things happen on a Esala full moon Poya day. So we have prepared a special video for you to learn the importance of the Esala full moon Poya day. So you can learn more from that video as well. That will be played in between the program. So be with us throughout the program and learn the Buddha's teachings. So to teach more about the Esala full moon Poya day, the Buddha preached the first sermon on the Esala full moon Poya day. That is the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. The name of the sutta is Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. And what happened, there are few incidents that took place before the Buddha preached the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. After the Buddha becoming an enlightened being, after the Blessed One became a Samma Sambuddha, that is under the Jayashree Mahabodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, the Buddha stayed near the Bodhi tree, spent 7 weeks, and then Buddha did not feel like preaching Dhamma. The Buddha's mind did not incline to preach the Dhamma. So why? The Buddha thought that the Dhamma that I have realized is very deep. It's not easy to see and understand. And if I were to teach the Dhamma, others might not understand me, which would be wearing and troublesome for me. So when these thoughts arose in Buddha's mind, one more person saw the Buddha's mind. Who was that? Sahampati Brahmaraja. The Sahampati Brahmaraja saw the Buddha's mind. So the Blessed One said like this, I've struggled hard to realize this, enough with trying to explain it. By those mired in greed and hate, those caught up in greed can't see the true nature. What's subtle going against the stream? What's subtle going against the stream? Deep, hard to see and very fine. So people are entangled in the mass of darkness. So Buddha was thinking, how would I preach this Dhamma for people who are covered with ignorance and fettered with craving? Now we are living our life, we are spending our lives without knowing that we are hindered by ignorance and fettered by craving. Our minds are covered with ignorance and our minds are covered with craving. So having such a mind, only we perform. We live in this human world. Being covered by ignorance, being fettered by craving, we speak. Being covered by craving and being covered by ignorance, we speak and do various actions and we think. So imagine when we are covered by craving, when our mind is overwhelmed with craving, and when we deal with, when we work and when we mix with people, when we react with others, when other people react towards others, when we respond to people with a mind that is overwhelmed with craving and covered with ignorance, imagine how would human beings react and how would human beings speak, how would human beings think, how would human beings perform bodily actions? Will they be proper? No. Why? Their minds are covered with craving and ignorance. So then Buddha saw this nature. Now we did not realize that our minds were covered with ignorance and craving. Why? Our minds are not developed. What we see is as problems, not having a house, not having a vehicle, then not having a life partner, then to fulfill a degree, then visiting the countries that we have not visited before, and then doing a nice hairstyle, and then buying clothes, and then basic things which will cause you suffering again and again. So then when the Buddha saw the true nature of the people's mind, when Buddha saw the the undefiled minds of people, the Buddha's mind did not incline to preach Dhamma. Then the Sahampati Brahmaraja thought, oh my goodness, the world will be lost. The world will be... Then the Sahampati Brahmaraja said, oh my goodness, the world will be lost. The world will perish. For the mind of the realized one, the perfected one, the fully awakened Buddha inclines to remain passive, not teaching the Dhamma. Then as easily as a strong person would extend and contract their arm, he vanished from the Brahma world and reappeared in front of the Buddha. Just as you stretch and you fold your arm and you fold in and you fold out your arms, just like you stretch in and you stretch out your legs, within that small period, within that short time period that it takes for us to stretch our arms, Sahampati Brahmaraja came and appeared in front of the Buddha. It was Sahampati Brahmaraja who invited the Buddha to preach Dhamma. So we should share merit with Sahampati Brahmaraja for inviting the Blessed One to preach the Dhamma. So then the Sahampati Brahmaraja said, uttered these verses. Among the Magadhans there appeared in the past an impure teaching thought up by those still stained. There were a lot of religious teachers who taught various techniques to the people in India, various religious beliefs, but then after hearing those teachings, the mind was still stained. The minds did not become purified. The minds were not purified after hearing those teachings. So, filling up. So, the Sahampati Brahmaraja said to the Blessed One, fling open the door to deathless. Let them hear the teaching, the unsurpassed one discovered. The teachings that the unsurpassed one discovered. Standing high on a rocky mountain, you can see the people all around. In just the same way, all see a wise one. Ascend the palace built of Dhamma. You are free of sorrow. Now see, the Buddha is free of sorrow. But look at these people, overwhelmed with sorrow. Now we are overwhelmed with sorrow. We should recognize that. Only when you understand our nature, the true nature of our life, then only we will feel like seeking a refuge from the Buddha. First of all, we should understand our problems in life. Whether we are overwhelmed with sorrow, oppressed by rebirth and old age. When we know and when we understand our drawbacks, then we will have a mindset. Then we will become humble and obedient to follow the Buddha's teachings. So now understand the nature of your life. At times we are sad, at times we are happy. Then when your parents don't listen to you, you are angry. When children don't listen to the parents get angry. Then when your friends don't listen to you, you get angry. So why we need a life like this? So then the Sahampati Brahmaraja said, rise, hero, victor in battle, lead of the caravan, wander the world without obligation. Let the Blessed One teach the Dhamma. There will be those who understand. So then, when these verses were said by Sahampati Brahmaraja, the Blessed One surveyed the world with the eye of a Buddha and saw the beings in this world. The Blessed One saw this world like a lotus pond. Like a pond. And then the Blessed One understood the nature of the human beings with these similes. Some people are with less impurities in their mind. not that much corrupted, but less defilements, less corrupted. While others have more, some have keen faculties like faith, they are very good. And some are weak in faculties like faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. And the ability, some have less ability to develop confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and some have a great ability in developing faith in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Some have good qualities and some have bad qualities. For some, it is easy to make them understand the nature of the true life. For some, it is hard to make them understand. Some have fear of their wrong and their next birth. And some don't have fear of their wrong and their next birth. Now we should have fear to do wrongdoings, and we should have the fear to be reborn again and again. Because just imagine, even this life is unpredictable. You can't predict tomorrow. We never know what will happen to us next day, tomorrow, and maybe on the next week, in next year. It's always unpredictable. In last year, bomb blast. There was a bomb blast. In this year, coronavirus. Then if you think of Sri Lanka, then 10 years ago, there was just a war was ended. So from time to time, we experience and we suffer in many ways. So we should understand that all these things we will meet again and again when we are reborn. So only by understanding and knowing about the samsara, we will be able to develop fear and shy to do bad things and to be reborn again and again. So now the simile, the Blessed One said, "Dear bhikkhus, the way of beings in this world is like a lake of water lilies, like a lake of lotuses, and like a lake of white lotuses." That is how the Buddha understood. There are some water lilies, lotuses and white lotuses in the lakes which are still maturing and growing inside the water. It has bloomed but inside the water. Likewise, there are some water lilies in the lakes that growed in the water and stay touching the water. It's touching the surface, that means it has come to the surface but not come out from the water like 1 feet, or maybe like it has not come out fully from the water. It is touching the surface. So some flowers are like that. And then the Buddha preaches, there are some water lilies, lotuses and white lotuses in the lakes that growed in the water and raised above the water and stays without touching the water. 3 types of flowers. Then Buddha preaches, dear bhikkhus, it is in the same way I looked at the beings in the world. With the eye of a Buddha, when looking, I recognize the way of beings in the world. Some have less defilements, while others have more. Some have keen faculties, some have weak faculties. Some have good qualities, some have bad qualities. For some it is easy to make them understand, for some it is hard to make them understand. So I think the ones who are difficult to understand the Dhamma, the ones who are weak, are the people are like the flowers who are bloomed under the water. So just like the people who have difficulties, who struggle a lot. Now some people, they suffer from sleepiness. They regret a lot, and they feel very sleepy when they want to meditate, and they regret a lot, and they get angry very fast. They have a lot of doubts. They are very doubtful in the Buddha's teachings. So they have very less faculties. They are like the flowers that bloom underwater. So it takes some time for them to change. They have to practice a lot. Even Arahant Moggallana suffered a lot to meditate. Arahant Moggallana suffered a lot from sleepiness. Then the Buddha preached the Pachalayana Sutta, many ways to overcome sleepiness. And then only Arahant Moggallana realized the Four Noble Truths. So then some, they they practice the Dhamma, so they are not that much defiled, and not defiled, and then not develop their minds to a great extent, but then they can follow the path as well, but then not develop their lives. Not easily they can't realize the Four Noble Truths, but they might also struggle for some extent. So they are like the flowers that comes to the surface of the water. But there are some flowers, they have come out from the water, and when the Buddha preaches Dhamma, they very fast. They understand the Dhamma very fast. Like Pukkusati. There was a disciple called Pukkusati. Buddha preached about elements to him. He realized it very fast. The Buddha said to the bhikkhus later, dear bhikkhus, Pukkusati did not make me tired when I was preaching Dhamma. Very fast he understood. Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta. Then the Buddha said, for those wise in the world, I open the door of Nibbana. The ones who like to hear the Dhamma, may they gain faith. May they develop confidence in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. May they develop confidence in the Buddha. So then the Blessed One, after uttering these verses, the Blessed One thought, to whom I would preach this Dhamma? Then the Blessed One was wondering, to whom I would preach this Dhamma? Then the Blessed One was thinking about Alara Kalam. Then he found out that Alara Kalam has passed away. Then Uddakarama, he has also passed away. Then he saw some wonderful 5 ascetics, 5 bhikkhus, just like the flowers has come out from the water. So after the Blessed One realized that the 5 bhikkhus are suitable to listen to this Dhamma, then the Blessed One left the Bodh Gaya and then went to Varanasi. So on his way to Varanasi, the Blessed One met a person called Upaka. And then this Upaka said, Reverend, your faculties are so clear, very clear, and your complexion is pure and bright. In whose name have you gone forth? Reverend, who is your teacher? Whose teaching do you believe in? Then the Blessed One replied like this. The Blessed One said like this, I have no teacher. There is no one like me in the world with its gods. I have no counterpart, for in this world I am the perfected one. I am the supreme teacher. I alone am fully awakened, cooled, extinguished. Then the Blessed One said that I am going to Varanasi, to the Isipatana deer bark, to beat the drum of the wonderful Dhamma. So when this was said by the Buddha, Upaka said, according to what you claim, Reverend, you ought to be the infinite victor. The infinite victor. Then the Buddha said, the victors are those who, like me, have reached the ending of defilements. I have conquered bad qualities, Upaka. That's why I am a victor. Then the Upaka rejoiced in that and went away. And the Blessed One went to the Varanasi to beat the drum of the wonderful Dhamma. So in the next sermon, let us learn the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta and spend this Esala full moon Poya day in a meaningful way. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.